Yo, 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 yo. It is another episode of the Weekend Rhyme, the final episode of 2024. What's going on, LeRoy? What's good with you, brother?
What's good, man? I'm talking about this music, talking about this culture, getting my notes together for best albums. I went back, listened to Snoop again, had a good time with that. I hear some noise out there with the FBAs. Let's get it popping. I'm here. I'm here for that. That's what I was made to do. Let's do it. Amen.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Let me find the hold on 1 second. Let me find the chat. 1 second. Let me see. We have some technical difficulties. I'm doing we got a new system here. Like in 2024, it brought us a lot of new things, right? You know what I mean? And right now we just trying to tap in to the chat. We want to make sure everybody's here tonight. You can be anywhere in the world tonight, but you rocking with us on a Sunday. Again, the weekend rhyme, we started about what? We started this in March of last year. When we start the weekend rhyme?
Man, it's been a while, man. Sometimes when I go back and I be like, man, I was on the show back then. It seemed like so long ago, but we started earlier, this year, and it's been great. You know what I mean? And what I'm trying to do is tie in certain topics with how it affects hip hop, so we could see the connections. But it's been great. It's been more than 6 months. You know what I mean? So I've gone through a bunch of albums, reviewing them. That's something I would like to hear more when people have an opinion about an album. Let's review it. And what I mean by review it is actually go through the songs. You know, I listen to Missionary again, song for song. I think people should go through the songs before they make opinion about a whole album. But it's been great, and there's always going to be something new that the culture faces, and I'm here for it, man. I think y'all know that by now. Yeah, man.
No doubt, no doubt. We having some problems with the comments tonight. I can't pull the comments. We got any
Yeah.
comments in the chat right now? I'm trying to get the chat up. What's going on?
Yeah.
Drop us a comment if you're able to do so, because maybe something's wrong on our end. I'm not seeing any comments. Normally
Yeah.
we have comments flooded in, but I don't see any right now. So yeah, I'm seeing
I,
them now.
I see I see one. You know what I mean? Joe ain't never lied. That's a fact. I see one comment. Oh, okay. We'll get him in here as we go. But I'm gonna speak to Joe. You know what I mean? I'm gonna speak to the FBAs. As I am a member, I am a foundational Black American. Both my mama was black, my daddy was black. They're from America. So we are foundational Black Americans. So I'm gonna speak to that tonight. Are we just giving ourselves labels without a job to do, or are we here to do a job? If we're here to do a job, then I think we need to get to work. If we need to get to work, then all these side missions are inconsequential. I view Fat Joe as a side mission. I don't view him as the number one priority for us as a people. I think he's a side mission. So if I'm wrong, y'all let me know why we need to give Fat Joe our attention. For what? Y'all let me know.
All right. Well, before we got a good show for y'all tonight. Before we get into the Fat Joe versus FBA versus Tariq Nasheed argument, we want to talk about LeRoy wants to provide his album of the year. I know Servan hit us with it. I think I
Yeah.
kind of touched on it a little bit. Super duper. We're going to give LeRoy the opportunity to present his album of the year. Mad Max, I see you in the building. I think you got your album of the year too. We want to make sure you give you your proper respect because you've been a good contributor to the show over the last few months. But again, this is the Weekend Rhyme, a show that the people asked for, that the people built, and I couldn't be happier to where we are today, man. So shout out to everybody in the chat, and let's make it a good show, man. Also, we're gonna talk about the commercialization of hip hop. That's the holiday season, and y'all see some of our OGs, some of our legends in these commercials selling products and being company spokespeople. We want to talk about that. So before we get to the Fat Joe's thing, LeRoy, let's hit the people with your albums of the year, man. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. What's number 10?
Let's do it.
Let me cue everything up real quick, and then let me cue everything
Oh,
and make sure I got
okay,
everything
okay,
right.
okay.
I want to make
We
sure I
going
got
back to
everything.
number 10.
Huh?
I was gonna start at 3, but we going back to number 10. Let's do it. I'm with it.
I think we need to refresh the people
All
where
right.
you at with it. So let's start at 10. Let's start at 10.
Now, I believe that was Vince Staples' Dark Times, right? Vince Staples, Dark Time. Oh no, that was Master Ace Richmond Hill. Okay,
No. Vince Staples Dark Times. So Vince Staples
yeah.
Dark Times. Okay. So
I got to go back, y'all. I'm still remembering my own list. You know what I mean? Because I'm already on number three. So Dark Times, great album. Again, with the Snoop Dogg thing, I was talking a lot about feeling. So I'm gonna relate that to the albums this year. Vince Staples, what is the feeling? We all know the lyrics, we all know the beats. What feeling does it give you? I'm also going to talk about FBAs. What is the underlying theme of the albums that I picked? Right? Dark Times. We start in Dark Times. We talk about FBAs, foundational Black Americans. Well, what story is Vince Staples from Los Angeles? What is he telling? Whose story is that? So I don't have to qualify who who invented hip hop, who made hip hop. You're looking at them.
well, let's get
You
to
know what
that. Let's
I mean?
get to that.
I don't mean me personally, but
Let's
I mean my people. That's who I'm saying.
let's get to that. But let's tell us why you picked Vince Staples
Yeah.
album. What made the Vince Staples album? We're gonna get to that argument. But
Okay. 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 Okay.
why did Vince Staples make your list?
Vince Staples. So again, he has a certain personality, he has a certain delivery, he has a certain relationship with commercialism. Anytime you put your music on sale for $9.99, you have just entered the corporate space, my friend. So you are not separate from the corporate world. You are a part of it. Now, Vince Staples, he speaks of the psychology of where he's from, what he represents, and also the history. He talks about economics. What is the economics of Black America in this country as it relates to Dark Times, the album, right? But that is an FBA issue. I just want to underline what's going on here. So Vince Staples, I thought that was a great album. Black and Blue, great song. AOTY, great song. Throughout the album, he gives certain situations, scenarios, beats, certain topics that speak to our collective experience, and I thought that was a great album. So number 10, Vince Staples, Dark Times. You know what I mean?
All right, number 9.
Yes. What you got number 9?
Number 9, you had that's your list, brother. Number
I know,
9
I know,
was
I know. I'm trying to
Ka,
remember it.
the thief next to Jesus.
The thief next to Jesus. So when I came on the platform, oh, Thief Next to Jesus, great album. We have songs like Beautiful. That is a beautiful song. We have songs like Blood, Bread, and Wine. When we talk about turning water to wine, are we talking about magic? Or are we talking about a metaphor for purification? Purification of what? What would I purify? Well, you purifying yourself. The thief next to Jesus. So, song beautiful. That was beautiful. Devotion, beautiful song. What else is on there? But what he speaks to is a dichotomy, a double consciousness. Okay, but also the thief next to Jesus. It speaks to our relationship with religion. What is our relation? Now, a lot of people they say, "Well, it's all good. Everything is 100% good." Well, is our relationship with religion 100% good? I'm not trying to say it's good or bad. I'm saying there are good amongst all the religions, amongst all the groups. There is something good. So if we agree on what's good, that's foundational. So again, I bring up that fact to relate that to foundational Black Americans, right? So that's all I'm saying. So The Thief Next to Jesus was a great album. That's the guy I got behind me. Honor killed the samurai Ka. Rest in peace, Ka. I've been repping for this whole month. You know what I mean? Pin game was impeccable, but he gives you a lot of truth in the bars. He says human nature is what it is. I hope the gods adjust. So what is our what why are we here for? What are we on like when I got here I said what is black culture? What I meant is what are we here to do? What's the purpose of us living? Why? Why am I here for it? Isn't that culture? So somebody needs to answer that. What am I supposed to be doing while I'm here? What am I here for? So the thief next to Jesus speaks to what we're here to do. You want to get next to something. What are you trying to get next to? the throne, right? It's Sunday, y'all. I'm going to church, tabernacle. But you're trying to get next to the throne. That's what you're trying to get. How would I do that? So the thief next to Jesus. So that was a beautiful album. Rest in peace, Kai. You know what I mean?
All right, number 7, you had what number 7 you had
Yeah.
Logic.
Logic. Okay, Logic. Ultra 85. I say this because lately they've been talking about album sales with Missionary only selling what 36,000. So we'll round it up 40,000. So, but what I'm saying is this: Ultra 85, he built up the anticipation for the album and he dropped a book. So what I'm saying is music attaching itself to product. How come Snoop's album wasn't attached to the headphones or attached to speakers? We have to start attaching our music to product, tangible product. Okay. So, but overall, the album Logic 85, the first song, Paul Rodriguez, great song. The whole album, it deals with, when we talk about going into space, obviously, he doesn't mean literally going into space. He means a consciousness that is going up. So, when we talk about created hip hop, it would have to be a group that thinks in symbology. In our language, there's coded symbology, right? So in Logic's language, when he talks about space travel, which we'll get into later with a bunch of different examples, what is he talking about? Logic represents the biracial, a person that is not just black but also white. Why are these stories important? Because you're dealing with two sides that are clashing within a human being. So we need to know what that is and know why that's a conversation when we talk about FBAs. Again, I'm bringing everything back to one thing, right? Okay, so that was my number. What was that? 7?
Number 7. So number 7, number 6.
Yes.
You had Rhapsody. I don't have a graphic for that one, but Rhapsody was number
Rhapsody.
6.
We covered Rhapsody. We know. I mean, we know what I feel like. If the females love the females, what are we here for? We here for the females. Let's be real. We're not here to see a bunch of dudes. We here for the females. That's what we show up for. So Rhapsody, I feel like she is a positive archetype for female rappers, right? And that's no knock to the other rappers that do what they do. Got love for you all, but Rhapsody her album and the struggle it speaks to or the situations it speaks to is something I feel like a lot of our women in hip hop that rhyme should should start to look at. You know what I mean? What did it say? Coded symbology. Damn, LeRoy, smart as fuck. Symbology though, we got to talk about that because a lot of our music, all of our music has symbology, but we never talk about it. So I'm going to bring it all in with foundational people who are from America. What are we here to do? What are we fighting for? If I'm talking to a president, what am I asking for? Do I know? Am I just talking? So that was my that Rhapsody. That's 6. So 5, I believe, is what Makami.
5 is Master Ace on your list. This is and for people that are just joining us, this is LeRoy Green's top 10 album of the year. Number
Okay,
5, we've got
Master
Master Ace, according to LeRoy, Richmond Hill.
Master Ace, Richmond Hill, one of the greatest MCs of all time, one of the greatest discographies of all time. He came in the game in the late 80s. He been here the whole time. When it comes to album making, there is a conceptual blueprint and binder to his music, which is a connective thread throughout all his albums. He showed y'all elementary life, high school life, college life. Now he's going into adulthood with Richmond Hill. So there's a connective thread throughout his music. Richmond Hill is a great album. Shout out to C Red. She's on the album. She's a doctor, a friend of mine. She got a verse on the album. Shout out to her. What I say that is because we need different representation. She's a doctor, right? So but with Master Ace, come on, great album maker, great ear for beats. Great. We talk about an ear for beats. We need to have that. Great engineering, great conceptual writing. He had a song in there with "Below the Clouds" with Blue. Beautiful song. Shout out to Blue. You know what I mean? But the album is a jewel. Coast Contra, they spazzed on that. You know what I mean? So check that out, man. Number 5. Well, so 4 must have been. Well, let me know. Let me where we at. Where we at?
Number four, you had
Cole
Makami number 4.
Makhami. So Makhami, right? Rich ass Haitian. Again, we're speaking to we talk about foundational Black America. So Makhami would be foundational Haitian, Haiti, right? But what is the plight? If we talk about Black people from America, they are fighting for freedom. So what is the Haitian fight for? Now we're talking about connectivity. This is why I have an issue with the FBA, which I am also. But what I'm saying is, if we start to fight people on the islands, is it constructive or not? Or not? So, but with that album, Rich Ass Haitian, dope album. Of course, the song with the God for Sean, the song with the girl who did the production on Elzai's album, Georgia Monroe. But multiple songs, fire. Or the song with Black Thought. Black Thought, brother, I hope you're gonna be in New York City when I touch down in New York City, because I look forward to meeting you. But Black Thought, another um, samurai and what we do. So Makami, that was a dope album. Respect that.
All right, number 4, we had J. Cole.
J. Cole, might delete later. That as far as rapping, because we talk a lot about rapping. Well, if we're talking about the skills of rapping, we got to give it to J. Cole. J. Cole. The poetry, that is, the album starts out with Gucci Man's rapping poetry. Gucci Man is delivering poetry. So that speaks to a dichotomy, two people in one person. You know what I mean? But a lot of us, we all operate like that in a corporate setting. So J. Cole might delete later dope album. He also had the diss towards Kendrick. People was like, oh, he needs to jump in the battle. He's in the battle if you listen to 7 Minute Drill. That's the battle. That's the diss right there. You know what I mean? Pie, the song with Absol and Daylight. Shout out to Daylight. Bars. When we talk about double entendres, similes, metaphors, punchlines, schemes, we are the masters of that are on display. Um, so the album was dope. He also had gigs on there. We're a global people, so foundational Black Americans. If we talk about just America, are we locking out our global influence? Let me know. You know what I mean? But that was a dope album. Might delete later. Fire. You know what I
Number
mean?
3 album of the year, according to Leroy Green, we've got
I'll make it quick, y'all.
Lupe Fiasco,
Lupe. Lupe
Samurai.
is the standard. Lupe is the standard for bars. And it's as far as I'm concerned. When I step to the mic, my standard is Lupe Fiasco. You know what I mean? Because he has a number of skills that he is great at. But the concept is what I want to speak to. And of course, the Amy Winehouse being a battle rapper, thus she's a samurai. That was an ill concept. And he's using what I gave props to Snoop for. What did I give props to Snoop props for, y'all? I gave him props for flow, right? So that's what I'm giving Lupe props for. Is the flow of samurai, because it has a lot of jazz influence and he's like an instrument. His words are like an instrument. You know what I mean? But I got to give the concept its just due, for what it is. And I want to talk about creativity. In these next few years, we're going to have to. Well, y'all can do what y'all want to do, but we're going to have to rely on imagination. What do we not have? And when we talk about foundational Black Americans, what do us as a people not have? So we have to imagine what it would be like to have it. So that's what propels our case against What again? FBAs are supposed to be about reparations. That's what you're supposed to be about securing, not Fat Joe. So, but to get reparations, you have to use your imagination. Why? Because your imagination lets you know what it would be like if you secured reparations. So, reparative economics. So, Lupe Fiasco is a master in imagination. Amy Winehouse as a battle rapper is genius. You know what I mean?
All right,
So,
number two, you had LL Cool J, The
ooh,
Force. Now, why was this? Why was this? Let's not get to
yeah,
FBA conversation because the people
yes,
want to talk about that. But
yeah.
specifically, why was this your number two album of the year from a musical perspective and a hip hop perspective?
Okay, so FBA, this should be your soundtrack. The Force should be your soundtrack. As the foundational Black Americans, what is the Force to us? The Force is to us is alignment or balance. But LL Cool J with Spirit of Cyrus, he starts the album off with a genius story song. The beat is haunting yet futuristic. LL uses personification and with Snoop and Q-Tip on the hook, and his delivery is with a sniper's ease on the trigger. So there are multiple ways. I mean, Black Code Suite, he speaks of reparations again. FBA, what are we talking about? W.E.B. Du Bois mentality, double consciousness. What are we talking about? Busta Rhymes delivers in Huey in the Chair. Busta Rhymes is speaking to the God body. What is a God body? If I'm trying to get next to the throne of something, who? Every one of us has a father. Your last name is your father's last name. So when people see you, who are they looking at? So if you are the child of God and people see you, who are they looking at? So the Busta Rhymes and LL speaks to that. Nas verse, he speaks about a code. What is the code of amen? The first men. You know what I mean? He speaks of 5% of them. LL's throwing a bunch of 5%er bars. A God asked me today, how do you see today's degree and what lesson, and a specific lesson? I responded by saying, I see today's degree as a triple down on wisdom. So December 22nd, 2024. That's three different sets of numbers with two, wisdom. So tripling down on wisdom as a process of knowledge so we don't stay stuck in always starting something without completing it. So what am I saying? I'm saying 5% is the theology of having a code. A code will make it where you go through a checklist every day to make sure you're in alignment with universal law. So LL speaks to that. The force, great. When we talk about the force, why would I want to be in alignment? Is because if there's a force that is higher than me and I'm reaching down to the next generation, I want to be in an alignment. Okay, so I represent the Kemet degree. If any 5%ers out there want to talk to me about what it is about or check me on my square, I represent the Kemet degree. My name is Justice Allah's Truth. Okay, so that's number two. Uh, LL Cool J. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Shout out to the gods. Peace to the gods. You know what I mean?
All right, number one.
Yeah. Auditorium. My album of the year is Common Pete Rock Auditorium. Aside from the bars, aside from the sound, what is the feeling? Because we are a feeling people. That's why we say, I feel you when we talk, right? I feel you. So we're feeling. What is the feeling of Common's music? It's what it must feel like to stand next to the ultimate power, right? So, but the first song, Dreaming, I think that may be a classic. He talks about seeing Prince time traveling. That's an Afrofuturism idea. Same with LL Cool J, same with Lupe Fiasco. Three different albums that made my top three, two, and one, were Afrofuturistic in nature. So what I'm saying is we need a new lane. And Afrofuturism is that lane for I think the next generation, right? So Common, we're on our way. Common says he learns what the seven is. So the seven, that's the God number. Again, that's the code in how we think and talk about things. so many people. He personifies destiny. So when you personify destiny as a girl, and you personify faith as a girl, and hope as a girl, that's three different women. What are we talking about? We're talking about symbology. We know destiny is not a woman, but we look at her as a woman because we're using symbology. We know hope and faith are not that, but when we personify them, we can crystallize them as in how we interact with those forces. So I just want to point that out. There, Common being my number one pick for the album is not number one pick for album of the year is not an accident. He's very he's very thought out in his approach to music and to his songwriting and to the vibe of his songs, etc. So very great album. Wise up, you know what I mean? Again, FBAs. When we talk about the 5%, where do the 5% come from? They come from America, right? So do we have a culture? Yes, we have a culture. So, but we have to start to identify what our cultures is. That doesn't mean this culture is better than that culture. This culture is better. No, we're not talking about what's better. We're talking about all of our cultures have a central idea. What do the 5% try to do? Why would I have knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, freedom, power, refinement, equality, God, build, and destroy? Born cipher. Why would I have that for? It's because I'm trying to get close to something. Well, if I'm a Christian, why would I keep talking about Christ for? It's because I'm trying to get close to something. If I'm, no matter what it is that you pick, we are all have a common denominator of trying to get close to something. So the albums that I pick from 10 to 1 all speak to that in different examples of a foundational Black Americans' plight for why they feel they need justice, reparative justice.
Well,
So
your album of the year is very interesting, and if people are just joining us now, we'll put a recap in the description at the conclusion of the show to recap Leroy Green's
yeah,
album of the year of 2024, 1 through 10. But this, we talking about FBA,
mm,
the Auditorium Volume 1 was the architect of that. Well, the co-architect of that on a production perspective was Pete Rock, who is
mm,
technically non-FBA, right? So,
mm.
it's the coming together of two minds to create a hip hop classic. And I guess the argument that we'll have a little bit later, and I don't think Tariq Nasheed is saying that, people that are non-FBA didn't contribute to hip hop. He's not saying that. I think the argument is who created hip hop. But Pete Rock is one of the godfathers of hip hop, but he doesn't fall under the non-FBA category. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's just telling because your album of the year was the Auditorium Volume 1 with Common. You got an FBA, you got a non-FBA making the album of the year. So that's an interesting conversation, right? As we unpack
It is.
this, very
Yes.
interesting.
It is FBAs, which I am a part of, which I also have love for Jamaica, a deep love for Jamaica that goes beyond music. There's relationships to Jamaica that are dear to me. So, but when we talk about FBAs, right? We are we are claiming America. We have such love for America. Does America show the same love back to us? The answer would be no. So when we look at with another group and we say they don't show love back. Well, our own country doesn't show
Well,
love back either.
I gotta disagree with that because if we are
Where
loved, well, let me stop you. Let me just interject real quick. If we say that we built the country and we are the fabric and our blood was spilt on this country and this country is ours just as much as anybody else's, how could
mm,
we say that this country doesn't love us when there was love, it was pain, it was sweat, it was tears that built this country? We can't say the country doesn't love us and we built it. If this is
I
our
know
home, how can I say
I
that
say that
the country doesn't love us and it's ours?
I say that because you built it on force. We built it at gunpoint. You did not treat us as humans in building it. You held us at gunpoint to
Who's
build
holding
it.
us at gunpoint now from leaving though? If that's the
No, no,
case,
no,
we're
no.
still we're still
The
building
reason
it.
we
We're
have
still
a country
it's still being built.
The reason we have a country is because we were held at gunpoint and we're still held at gunpoint.
No.
Every day, every day in our neighborhoods, there is a force that holds our community at gunpoint. So
No,
when we talk about love, that's not love. If you're aiming a gun at me, that's not love.
let me ask you a question there. Who's aiming a gun at you right now at this current moment?
If we're talking about foundational, when we talk about foundational, you're saying to me that we're talking about the 15, 16, 17, 18, and 1900s. That's what foundational means. You're saying 500 years is foundational. I'm saying for those years, you were America. I'm charging the American government with holding us at symbolically holding us at gunpoint for building this country. It was not by choice. You did not ask Benjamin Banneker to lay out Washington, D.C. by choice. You did not ask my people to come off their ships and build it by choice. You held them at gunpoint. So, as an FBA, I am charging you, American government, whoever the president is, with humanitarian crimes against my people. Now, I get it. The FBA, we think that it was by choice. I study history. I have proof of what I'm saying that it was not by choice. Now, are we going to talk about how I'm delivering it to you? Or are we going to talk about what my proof? Because I have proof. You know what I mean?
Well, again, we can agree. That's Wednesday's show to disagree. And what you're saying, funny, you're saying a lot of things that are factually true, but I'm saying currently, I just don't. I think we're not correlating the right things, right? 'Cause I think we can. I'm about. I think Black people should be patriotic. I think we should love our country
No
because
doubt.
because if you poured
No
something
doubt.
into something, you should respect. You should get a return on your investment, and your return on your investment is that's why we have people from across the globe that are non-FBA coming to America. If
That's
America was
great.
if America was so bad and it's so corrupt as you and so vile and vicious, then why do we have brothers from the African
Because
nations, the
somebody
Caribbean coming
somebody
over
had
coming
to
over here?
bleed.
Why would they just stay in there? If America is so bad,
Because
why don't they
somebody
stay in
has
their
to bleed.
countries?
Because somebody has to bleed. In order for me to make it safe for you to come here, somebody got to bleed first. Who bled? Our people were the ones who bled, who were unpaid, who built the country, who not just built the country. When you talk about reading and writing, I can show you mathematic papyri from 700 from 1750. So what are we talking about? We built the country not just physically, but mentally and spiritually, and we bled our way through that. It's our blood that is why that was built. So what I'm saying is, yes, yes, I love the country. Yes, I love my people in America. Yes, I love the Bay Area. I love New York. I love Atlanta, but I am under no illusion that it was not by force that we built the country. It was not by choice. Kanye West.
All right, all right. Well. Again, you make some coaching points, but I think we're getting to the middle ground. We're getting to the. I want to say one thing before we go to this topic. I do find it interesting that you've argued with me for the last 3 shows about the Snoop album, and
Yes,
it didn't make your list. So I'm just kind of curious that why you said so
I think
many
it's
superlatives
I think
about
it's
it.
unfair. I think it's unfair. What Snoop and Dre does is another level. And I know people have their opinions on Dre and Snoop. I appreciate your opinions. I appreciate how you feel. I am not undermining how you feel, and I think it's legitimate and I respect it. However, I feel like between beats and rhymes, what Dr. Dre and Snoop do are at a different level than what everybody else does. And take them aside. I hardly ever count December albums as the same year. So just moving forward, when we do our yearly wrap ups, and when December comes, I'm wrapping it up. So if you drop an album in December, I probably will not consider that as part of the list because I don't count December as part of that list. Just moving forward so we know. You know
Got
what
it.
I mean?
Let's jump right into it because a lot of people are in the chat. A lot of people agree with you, Leroy. I haven't seen
Yeah.
anybody that agrees with me yet, but I'm right. But you don't have to agree with me. I'm right anyway. But
No
anyway,
right or wrong. It's no
let's
you
let's
you
play.
are right. You
Let's
are
play.
right, but
Let's play.
both
Let's
be
pl-
right.
let's
Yeah.
play the conversation. I guess I should play Fat Joe first, and then maybe Tariq's response. I'm not gonna play all of Tariq's response because he is quite lengthy. I didn't kind of get a chance to chop it up. But let's go play Fat Joe first.
Mm.
Oh man, I gotta listen to the whole interview, but if from that snippet, and shout
Yeah.
out to Fat Joe, man. I got a lot of love for Joey Crack, but I gotta disagree with him on a certain thing. I don't think that the people who, and if he's talking specifically about Tariq Nasheed, shout out to that brother. I know that brother. I don't think he's a racist. I think that's out of bounds. Calling that movement and calling Tariq a racist, I think that's out of pocket, Joe. You know what I'm saying? And much respect to Joe. You know what I'm saying? I got much love for Fat Joe, Joey Crack, but I think that's out of bounds. Calling him for racist. First of all,
Yeah, it's out of bounds.
calling him broke. I think it's okay to assert. You know, assert that your lineage. It's okay to define your lineage, and I think what the FBA movement is doing is defining, because everyone else defines theirs, right? Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Jamaicans, Haitians. It's okay to say foundational Black Americans created, an art form, right, or contributed to a culture. One of the things that my daughter came from college, she said, a lot of the people in her college that's from like Jamaica, Trinidad, or Haiti, they say y'all people, Black Americans don't have any culture, and I'm like, that's far from the truth. You know what I'm saying? We have hip hop, our culinary culture, the way we dress. People have taken what Black Americans have done and taken that across the globe. You look at Tokyo, you look at, Germany, you look at Birmingham, England, you look at in the UK and London. You look at even in Africa, even in the Caribbean, they take what Black Americans did and that culture from jazz to country to rock and roll, to Jimi Hendrix to Rick
Right.
James, Michael Jackson, Prince, even hip hop. So to say we don't have a culture is factually inaccurate, is downright disrespectful. Again, you know, we got to be very careful when we have these conversations, not to disrespect. And I think what Tariq is saying in this movie Microphone Check is that, you know, hip hop was a Black American art form. Did it have contributions from others? Yes. Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, from Kool Herc, and others. Even the Italians say they kind of, everybody, Asians say they contributed hip hop, but it found at the pillar of it, at the core essence of hip hop, it's a Black American art form. And that's okay. So what is the pushback? Why is there such resistance in saying that hip hop is a Black American art form? What's the problem in that? And why does Joe seemingly have such a problem with that?
Now, my personal opinion is this, right? And maybe it's intellectual arrogance or whatever. Some arguments I feel are not worth my time. Now, Fat Joe, you as an MC are worth my time. We respect what you've done in hip hop, but we know what time you're on, right? So I'm on a similar time, but that time gets us nowhere, right? Because you're looking for somebody to challenge you personally, meaning face to face, and we know where that leads, right? So that's not really worth the argument, right? Because I'm going to respond to you with love and understanding. Why? Because what culture are we talking about, right? Who responds with love when they are attacked historically in America? So what is our weapon? Is love, right? Now that's going to sound soft. It's going to sound like something we don't do. But what I'm saying is, Joe, I understand your perspective. So I'm not going to argue it, right? What I'm going to say is this situation is much deeper than just hip hop. Because if we say we own hip hop, well, what do we actually own? You know what I mean? So, you know, that's one question. But with his comments, you know, I don't have to agree with everything that Tariq says, but I stand with Tariq as in his overall point, right? If I don't agree with every single minute point that Tariq makes, that's one thing, but his overall point, I agree with that. Justice and reparative economics is a necessary positive for our people. because I can point to the fact that they've earned it. Not that it's a handout, but blood, sweat, and tears was accumulated over centuries to which black people have earned it, right? So that's one thing. But I just don't want people to fall victim to distraction. Now, if you want to fight Fat Joe on this matter, I'm not mad at you. I never have to prove black people influence in hip hop. I feel like I never have to prove that because I feel like that should be obvious. For those that want to prove that, I'm with you, but I think there are bigger fish to fry. So who am I gonna fry? Fat Joe, or am I gonna look for a bigger giant? I'm gonna look for a bigger giant because Fat Joe, respectfully, it is not worth the time to get into an argument with you. Um, Puerto Ricans, we respect y'all. Has there been certain things that y'all don't like about foundational Black Americans? Yeah, but the reality is there are people that don't like each other all around the world in every neighborhood. So if I spend my time fighting the Puerto Ricans, and honestly, there is some merit to where the Puerto Ricans have been through a similar situation. Foundational Black Americas, I think we should study the colonization of them islands until we realize there's a common enemy that none of us are speaking to. See, while we're fighting each other, the back door is open, and a common enemy is walking out the back door with all the money, and he's like having a great day. Well, where's the challenge to him? That's who I'm concerned with.
No doubt.
So,
Let me
you know
get
what
to
I
the
mean?
super chat real quick, and I'm gonna play Tariq's response because you know Tariq
Yeah,
had to he had to respond, right? Tariq was Tariq was waiting to respond. Shout out to Tariq,
yeah.
man. OJ Weston with the super chat says Joe lied, which he does a lot about hip hop being created 50-50, and the N words he's talking about called him out on it. Yeah, I think that was one of the big key points of the documentary Microphone Check that Tariq Nasheed was trying to articulate, right? Is that it wasn't 50-50. You know what I'm saying? It was a Black American art form, hip hop, that had influence from others, but it was a Black American expression. Now there other people, b-boys and graffiti artists and MCs, that were Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, whoever the case may be, contribute to it. They did, but as far as the origin of it and your creation of it, it wasn't. It wasn't the case. And again, I wasn't in New York in the 1970s, right? So I kind of tread lightly. I've got to talk. I got to listen to the OGs. You know what I'm saying? The OGs that were in the film Microphone Check said, "Nah, hold up. This was a
Let me speak to that. Let me speak to the Mecca, New York. And I love New York. You know what I mean?
right."
I love y'all. I've always loved y'all. I've been to New York. I love y'all. But you are not on an island by yourself when it talks about foundational Black Americans, because even the culture of hip hop has always been here and moved around. See, we think that our culture, based off music and storytelling off the drum, we think that that just comes from America. There is an argument to say that it predates that. So but New York, California, the South, if any of us are trying to take sole ownership, excluding everybody else, I would like to ask your grandma where she's from. Ask your grandpa where he's from. So what I'm saying is we are global. So I hear the foundational Black argument. I respect it. I am a foundational Black man. But one day we're going to have to come to the realization that we are global. We have family from around the globe.
No, that's not the. I don't even think that's not even a question. The question is we got to give it proper respect. New York City birthed hip hop. It just did. What we know of hip hop now, did it go across the globe? Did people in the South pick it up? Did people on the West Coast pick it up? Did people in Chicago, Memphis, Tennessee,
You,
Texas
you
with UGK?
sampled you sampled James Brown. Is James Brown from New York? But regardless, you sampled records from all over the world. So yes, the culture is from New York. I would never take nothing away from the Mecca again. But you sampled records from around the world.
True. True.
Yeah,
Let's play Tariq's response. Let's play Tariq's response real quick. Hold on. Let's play Tariq. Because I wouldn't be fair if I didn't play it.
yeah.
Hold up. Where is it at? Hold on. Where is it at? Hold on.
You know, I respect Tariq Nasheed, but he turned the conversation into us having an issue with people that are not from America. Now he knows in his heart that people don't hate us like that. Yes, there are people that do hate us, but that's around the world. You're gonna find that anywhere. But there are people that love us too. Yeah, man.
Let me find the file. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. We have some technical difficulties. It's the last weekend rhyme show of the year. You know, I'm drinking my Christmas spirits, you know what I'm saying? So we're a little late with it, but let's get with it. Hold on.
Myth. That's why they parade him around, and they parade him around so that black people can be on some let's support Latin issues because we're all one and the same. And Fat Joe, he can the N-word and he's a hip hop artist, so we have some kind of camaraderie with him, and therefore we have a camaraderie with other Hispanics by proxy. So when they come to us talking about immigration, we're supposed to be on board. Like, yeah, those are our minority brothers, so we got to support immigration. So now that we have delineated, there's a delineation movement. We ain't falling for those tricks. We're not falling for those tricks, and we're not falling for Fat Joe's nonsense. And Fat Joe, you know, they sent him out to be the crash dummy. So when Fat Joe went out there with that whole hostile take, they let him be the sacrificial lamb. And he made a real bold statement. He jumped out the window and said, hey, you know what? Hip hop was created by blacks and Puerto Ricans 50-50. And then he ran out the room. And everybody's like, what? Then he was doubling down. Yeah, I said it. I said what I said. It's 50-50. And everybody's like, why don't you explain it? What do you mean 50-50? What? Yeah. If y'all ain't from the Bronx, y'all just don't know. And then people from the Bronx started asking questions. Hey, what they talking about? What 50-50? And this was right around the 50th
Great.
anniversary of hip hop, by the way. The 50th anniversary was coming up, and they were really trying to push a Black and Latino co-creation myth. And that's to minimize us. You just couldn't give us credit to say, hey, these foundational Black Americans created this phenomenal genre and this phenomenal culture. You had to try to crowbar a co-creation myth. That was
I disagree with his analysis, you know, and I respect Tariq Nasheed, but I don't see where Joe said it was 50-50. If you have a clip of him saying it was 50-50, then I could agree. I don't see him saying that. Also, you say he was pushing a y'all have to accept immigration angle. I don't remember Joe saying we have to accept immigration. Now, if you have a clip of him saying that, that's one thing. But you cannot just put words into other people's mouths, Tariq. You know what I mean? And again, I respect you. So this ain't from a place of trying to challenge you or trying to knock down what you're saying. I respect you and the information you bring to the table. However, like I stated before, we were here to secure the reparation and reparative economics for Black America. We were not here to focus on Fat Joe. So if I understand that Fat Joe is a gangster, you understand. So you're not talking to someone who was intellectually trying to match you with sources out of documents. He is a gangster. So you're making the choice. I'm going to engage with the gangster. There's only one way to engage with the gangster. You understand? There's
Well,
only
no,
one. There's only one language they understand.
Joe's a former gangster.
Fat Joe is a gangster.
But they're grown men now, and they're having a grown man discussion about they're having a difference. So then they're in their 50s. They're not fitting. They're not fitting. They're not fitting to be on no street shit with it. They're just having a conversation. like two professors would have at a college university, or two scholars, or two people that are cultural authorities would have about the origins of hip hop. So it's not going to get to no gangster level. They having a
Joe is
conversation, but I did hear Fat Joe respectfully say that was 50-50. I think he said it on his podcast. He said it was a 50-50 thing between blacks and Latinos or Hispanics, right?
okay.
So I can pull that up. We can have that. I gotta find it, but we can put that, but trust me, it was said. Now, as far as the
Now
immigration
black people.
piece, the immigration
I'm
piece,
from the era. I'm from the era of hip hop. What were we doing a lot of graffiti, or were brothers from Latino America, Latin America? Were we doing a lot of the graffiti, or was it them?
that I don't know. We need somebody from New York and see who was. I know the first graffiti artist was it corn? Well, not cornbread, was it? Um,
No, we created it. But what I'm saying is, did we see Latin America participating?
Well,
That's the
now
question.
I hear in Los Angeles right now, in California, maybe it's in the Bay, that a lot of Latinos, Hispanics have taken over the graffiti, and they're tagging the cities with gang signs. Like, so a lot of the graffiti now has moved from the art to more to gang culture. So in
But I
present
mean,
day,
gang signs are art too. If I'm throwing up my gang sign, hey, my gang run this, we gonna whack you. That's art too. It may not be the art that you like, but it's art. It's the art of war. So it's war art. I'm at war and I'm showing you I'm at war. That's art. You know what I
okay,
mean?
all right, I
Yeah,
think it looks kind of
I get it.
it doesn't look, doesn't I wouldn't purchase it and hang it up in my in my mantle.
But what I'm saying is, what do we lose, black people? If Joe wins the argument, what do we lose? If we win the argument, what do we lose? We lose nothing on both ends of the
No,
spectrum.
we lose something. I think the argument is that we're losing the true history. I think we can't. I think it's an issue when we let people take what you create. So Leroy, you build a house with your bare hands, right?
Yeah,
And then 10 years later, somebody say, "Well, now Leroy didn't build that." You know, I built it. Because Leroy worked for my company, but you actually built the house. Yeah, you work for the company, but you work. Just say, for example, you work for Ford, for General Motors or whatever, right? You have a
I got that.
house. You're working for General Motors. You're getting a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? But you taking what you earned and building your house. You're building your neighborhood, building your community. And then 100 years later, the son of the your manager, whoever was at General Motors, says, no, we did that. It's 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Leroy built his house and built his neighborhood and built businesses in his community, took care of his family. But now it's 50-50. And you know what I'm saying? Even though I never went to your neighborhood, I never went to your house, I didn't do anything to your house. We have to be careful protecting what's ours, because if we don't, then it'll be, 50 years, 100 years from now, the story won't be
Right.
told. So I think we just got to be
Yeah.
careful with that. And let's just call it right. What I would like to see, I would like to see Tariq and Fat Joe get together, maybe on this podcast or maybe and just have a conversation. Again, it's tricky to me, and I need to go to New York. I mean, I'm just going about what the OG said in microphone check the film, what others have
Yeah.
told me, being in New York, being in Brooklyn, the Bronx, and all my travels about the origins of hip hop. But there's people that actually say, Puerto Ricans did do this. So, we weren't there in 1973, 1975, 1979, 81, 82. We weren't in the Bronx. So we got to really go to those
Now
people and
look
let them
though.
tell their stories. You know what I mean?
When I go into when I talk to Puerto Ricans and then I meet their grandmother and grandfather, a lot of times their grandmother looks black and their grandfather looks black. So what I'm saying to you is who are we fighting? If we're gonna fight this battle, I'm telling you, when I talk to Puerto Ricans and I meet their elders, a lot of their elders are visibly black. So who are we fighting? You know what I'm saying? It's like we have to know our own history too. I talked about Lupe and the samurai. Who are the samurai? Who are the foundational samurais? The first samurais. Who are they? But what I'm saying is, if we're going to always attack, certain fights, when we talk to their grandma and their grandpa and their great grandma and great grandpa, we're going to be looking at other black people. So what do we have to prove? Your own family proves it for us, Fat Joe. Now, Fat Joe, go up the chain of your family members. You're gonna see it get blacker and blacker and blacker in complexion and in location and in relativity to the slave trade.
Interesting conversation. It's an interesting conversation. Again, much respect to Fat Joe. Much respect to Tariq Nasheed. He's been on our platform before. We want to get Joe on to give his piece, but I just didn't like him calling us, racist. I just don't think I think that was,
That was
you
out of
know,
line. That was out of
that was
line.
not tasteful.
Yeah.
Broke. We not broke. I mean, that's
Nope.
that's not a goodness. That's distasteful, and I think it's kind
Yeah.
of dangerous to kind of call a group racist when they're not. I mean, we're not. These people are not
Not
racist. You know what I'm saying?
racist. Racist comes with power. So if you're gonna be racist, you gotta have power connected to that. As black people, we were saying a crime was committed against us. This is the crime. And they say, well, that's racist. Well, it's not racist. I'm telling you what the crime was. If I'm telling you prisoners being prisoners of war forced to make our children work, that is a humanitarian crime. That doesn't make me racist. I'm showing you the actual crime. Centuries of us not being paid is a crime. Brutality, rape, economic disenfranchisement, mass incarceration, manipulation of the laws in the books. All of this is a crime against our people. So it's not racism. I'm just telling you the drug war. Who brought tons of drugs in this country? You think it was my homeboy in his old school car driving that across? We're talking about $1 billion of metric tons. Who brought that in? Was it us or was it the United States government? So again, I'm just saying what the crime was. That's not racism. I'm showing you I have proof that we deserve reparative economics or at least the debate. And if we're standing on justice, if we're standing on justice, then my people are in the right for feeling away. And if we're not gonna get our day in court, well then we're gonna turn up. What's the consequence for not taking our demands serious? That's what FBA, that's what I'm asking you. Where are we going with consequence? Now, I'm not saying we got to jump out the window. I'm saying strategically, intellectually, and perhaps non-violently but constructively, what are the consequences for not looking at Ice Cube's deal, for not looking at Tariq Nasheed's reparations agenda, for not looking at the FBA overall agenda? What's the consequence? Do we have a consequence, or are we just talking about fighting Fat Joe?
No doubt, no doubt. We got New York's finest in the building, Mad Max. What's up, man? What's good with you, brother?
What's
Max,
good?
What's
How y'all feeling, man?
we feeling
got
Y'all
good,
him.
man?
gotta
We
take
got
it
we got a
easy
lot we
on
got a lot to
on Joe.
unpack with you today, man. We got to talk about your top 10 albums. We got to do
Yeah,
that, and we want to give the audience a break
yeah,
before, or you want to continue
yeah.
this FBA conversation before we get back to the music. How you want to do it?
It's on you.
We could do the FBA thing. We could do the FBA thing.
What's your thoughts on it, brother? What's your thoughts on it, brother?
All right, so I don't know. I'm conflicted because Joe, he at NY. I don't want to say since people have an issue with him using the N word. I guess I won't refer to him as the N word. But in New York, Joe is a made man. Like so, it's like to see him go
We can
out,
do the FBA.
to see him go
What's
out
your
the way
thoughts
he
on it?
going
What's
out.
your thoughts on it?
It's kind of sad. But
All right. Yeah.
so I don't know. I'm conflicted because
Hey,
Joe.
But I mean,
Black prayers, turn. All right, okay, yeah, we got somebody that jumped in. We got a guest that jumped in. I got to get your math.
Oh,
I got to get your math, Mad Max. Well, let's get the,
oh,
let's get my man in here real quick because Mad Max, you're gonna be here all night. Let's get my man in here.
yeah, that's
This
cool.
what's good, brother? What's good?
yeah, peace to the gods.
Peace to the
Yes, sir.
gods. Peace.
What's on your
Yeah.
mind tonight, brother?
Yo, what you mean? I'm the person that this is all about, brother. Yeah,
Okay.
let's talk let's talk. First of all, the way that I got on the show, what were you showing? You were showing Common and his album at
Yes.
the King Theater, right?
Yeah, no doubt, no
Now,
doubt.
now listen to this. Now listen to this. Real talk. That's from my neighborhood, Flatbush, Brooklyn, right?
Okay.
Now listen to this. I lived across the street from Prospect Park. I used to listen to Pete Rock and CL Smooth. And then I used to watch Young Jeezy's EPK. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'd walk to the gym that's on Beverly Road and Flatbush, past that theater, King's Theater,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Okay.
So you see, what you're seeing right now is people trying to imitate and talk about my life and my experience. See, that's why Fat Joe can disrespect, because he knows that Tariq Nasheed's whole aura is made up. It's
Mm.
not. See, it's not. How is it? How is it that somebody from the West Coast is gonna tell us from New York City about Black consciousness in hip hop?
Because
That's
because
a,
we from the West Coast. Like again, we respect the East Coast. Trust me, we got nothing but love and respect. But on the West Coast, we have our own legends. When you talk about Huey P. Newton, and we talk about the Panthers, and we talk about certain entities out here on the West Coast, but my brother, we put our time in as well. So what I'm
but
saying is a universal struggle, not just with the East, but with the West, with the South, with the
but
North. All the
but
brothers have
but
been
that's
through a
the
similar. Yeah.
but that's the point we're trying to say. But that's the point I'm making. Is the fact that because the West Coast, you have a pipeline to the entertainment industry in New York, you're better able to capitalize off all of the trends. You didn't bring Nipsey Hussle didn't bring back no consciousness to us, brother. I told you that when
Yes,
I got
yes,
on
he
here.
did.
When I told you that
Yes,
when I
he
got
did.
on here last time. I told you when I pointed out the fact that he had the African deity Ezeli Dantar he was selling at the Marathon store. That's us. That's
But
us.
the
He came to Flatbush.
the
He came to
marathon
Flatbush.
store.
Excuse me?
In New York, which one of y'all pioneered the smart store? And which one of y'all pioneered the raising the bar for the evaluation of music? His mixtape was $100. His next mixtape was
Are you
$1,000.
kidding me?
Open the
Are you kidding?
marathon store. No, but
Are
but
you
but
kidding?
look, I'm not knocking y'all because again, this is love. I know that y'all do the work, but
It's
what I'm
not
saying is
love. That's what
we
I'm saying.
can't
It's
act
not
like
love.
we can't act like Nipsey Hussle didn't put in that work, my brother.
But what I'm telling you, no.
He's
But what I'm
energy.
telling you, what I'm telling you is that he is not the he's not the paradigm of that. You look, I just told you about the fact that and that exact picture that you saw, I can direct you to where that was when it was built. That's an initiative called Imagine Flatbush that built up Flatbush. I have a degree in
It's
political
cool.
science, brother. You understand?
That's
So
cool.
my feet were on the ground when that was happening. The Barclays Center, the biggest real estate deal in New York history. I was directly involved in that. People like to go. I went to Egypt to talk about hip hop as African religion in 2006 before Nipsey even made his first album. So
You're
you're
talking
trying to
about the
steal my
first.
narrative. It's
You're
my
talking
narrative
about
y'all
the
trying to
first.
steal.
Well,
Excuse
But
me?
let,
each part contributes. Nipsey contributed to
You
the
try, but
forward movement of hip hop.
he
He
no
contributed.
no no he
He
didn't.
doesn't have to be
You
the
try.
first.
No, you're trying to attribute it to that again. You're trying to steal our again. Tariq
I would
Nasheed
never
who made an
steal from
album
y'all.
called Tariq Nasheed made an album called Wash Your Ass in 1994. You know what I was
Okay.
doing? I was in Brooklyn College on the Junction, Flatbush Junction, studying Africana Studies. I was listening to WLIB with the master
I was doing
teacher,
the same.
Dr. Ben.
I was doing the same.
so
But
What
brother,
that's
I'm
what,
what.
saying
But
is
see,
we
Leroy,
respect
but see,
y'all.
you guys want to act like it's you in the West. See, that's the thing. Every time you want to try to assert some authority in hip hop, you use the gang banging. Oh, you're Crip. You're supposed to listen to us. What I'm saying is that the African black consciousness as far as hip hop, that is us. Tariq Nasheed got that from me. 2011, he made Hidden Colors. I went to Kemet in 2007. Everything you watch, Sinetta, James Small, everybody on there
Yeah,
that know him.
you went to Kemet. You went to
He
Kemet.
met in
When
two,
I came
of
on
course.
here, I said peace to the gods. I represent the Kemet degree.
Okay, peace to the gods. Today, mathematics is wisdom. Wisdom being born is called freedom. Wisdom, degree, the supreme
Hey,
alphabet is victory.
hey, my
Come
brother,
on.
let me ask you a question. Let me get to the topic
Let,
real quick because I want to make sure we understand your point. Are you saying that Fat Joe is right when he said that hip hop was 50-50, a black and
no,
hip?
what I'm saying is that the reason why he's able to do that is because he knows that Tariq and all of these people outside of New York are not the real source of black consciousness. He knows. This is KRS-One's a student, Fat Joe.
Right. So what
He
do we
knows.
win? What do we win by knocking Fat Joe off the chessboard? Do we win anything?
What I'm saying is that this is all a WWE spec. Everybody's wrong. Even Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar want to play FBA, right? First album, he got dreads, mad reggae. Everybody, that's what, even with that, you tell
No, no,
me.
no, no, no. That's not true. That's not true.
Absolutely.
Lord
Go ahead.
Jamar, Lord Jamar represents the 5%. When he came in the door with Brand Nubian, they represented a code. A code of what? Supreme mathematics. That is black foundational culture. I give
Okay,
him
now,
that respect.
first
I
of all,
have to give him that. Okay.
you're calling it Black America again. Supreme
Yes.
mathematics, which comes out of Nation of Islam.
Yes.
The foundation of all of it is what? Freemasonry. All right, let's stop with that right there.
What's the
One,
foundation of Freemasonry? You went to Kemet, right? You went to
it's in
Kemet.
Kemet.
What? Okay. So what is the
What? Oh, what?
foundation?
Huh? What?
Yeah, I know that. I know that book by heart. I can read you.
Okay,
I can read you off memory the first page.
but that's that. But
So
see that again. You're
I,
doing the same thing. Again, you're doing the same thing. You're
mm,
trying to. You're trying to place the context of the debate within the supreme mathematics. That's not what I'm saying. That's what
I'm
everybody wants to do.
okay. Okay.
You're right. You're right. The Brand Nubian album. The Brand Nubian album. Yes. See, and this is the part that's going on too. The Brand Nubian album. Yes, he was spitting supreme mathematics as well as politically charged issues. But the flip side to it, you see, when it comes to hip hop, it's two sides. It's words and music. If you listen to the music, you hear dope loops, Cool in the Gang,
Right.
reggae, Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians. It was balanced with a cultural aspect with the word. You see, that's the problem. People are mad. People want to assert the word over the rhythms. So Tariq want to call you Teva. He want to say this and that, but he can't drop 90 bars on the beat. Why am I listening to him? I'm talking right now.
Well,
I just dropped
you're,
96 bars. I just dropped 96 bars on Get Money in May.
we
Why
could
y'all was
drop
all
bars.
talking?
We could drop bars right now.
Hey, bro,
Let's go.
let me
Drop
ask you something real
500
quick because
bars.
I got to get
We
back.
could drop 500 bars right
I got to
now.
get back to the topic, brother. But let me ask you something real quick before I get you out of here. What's your favorite album of the year, man? What's your favorite album of all time right now? I want to get your perspective.
You asked me two questions. My favorite album is mine. www.blackpresidon.com. Blackpresident.com. And let me finish with this.
Right. You made
We're
the
gonna get
argument about you. You made this. You're making this argument about
because
you.
that's what it's about. That's
Okay.
why we're
This
studying right
argument
now.
is about foundational Black
We're
Americans
gonna check
and
your we're gonna
Fat
check
Joe's
your out.
comment.
And Leroy, let him finish this point. We're gonna check his
Hold on,
album
hold on.
out,
This
brother.
is
Finish your point, brother.
what I'm telling. This is happening because the people in Harlem, like Sonetta, OG James Small, they don't want to highlight a brother like me because I am Haitian. Puerto Rican community, they know that. They co-founded the African American Studies Department in Hunter College. They know exactly who I am. So they can allow it to be like that because they know that you're not the real deal when it comes to the culture. Now let me show you this.
Brother,
Hey,
what are
brother,
you here to
Leroy,
do?
Leroy, come on,
Hold on, let me
one
finish
second,
with
bro.
this.
No, Leroy,
Let me finish
let
with
him
this.
finish so we can
Hold
move
on.
on. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
see,
brother.
exactly. Look how you want to move on, but let me finish with this and finish the argument. Even your boy right now called your boy Kendrick. Let me finish this. Yeah, who produced that? DJ Mustard, right? Now, the signature to DJ Mustard's beats, if you listen to them before this one, was something that goes, hey, 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 right? It has a call and response, right? You know where he
Yes.
got that from? He got that from us. 1998, Brooklyn, New York, Showtime Rhythm.
Again, brother,
He stole that from.
you're having a geographical argument, but New York and California is in the same continent. So you're having a geographical argument within the same place. So we could go New York, California, but it's America still. If you're New York, if you're California, it don't
And
matter.
New and,
Still America.
and that's the problem. You see, New York. See, this is how you got to think about New York, right? That people want to let us not know. New York is not only local. New York is local. New York is international, and it's national. That's where September 11th happened. So, but see, that's the problem. That's where the hate comes from. You want to tell us we're not good down south, but then I come down south. All I see on the YouTube is people reviewing EPMD, I Ain't No Joke, blah, 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 blah. You want to diss
I
us,
got
but
you.
then everybody want to wear a Biggie shirt. You don't want, see, the thing is, you want to keep us in the past and steal our evolution. That's what I'm fighting to the end. Even this, Zopound. I'm in Florida right now. Hottest thing right now, Haitian American. Are you talking to
Got
me? You're not, because you're hating. That's why Fat Joe is spitting in your face, because you've been hating on a Haitian American that you know is the premier scholar, a Pan-African scholar in the world.
Well, you
When
know
it comes
what?
to hip
You know
hop,
what? I want to get.
got you.
Have you talked to Tariq before? Have you had a conversation with Tariq?
I got a DM right now. Where I told him when he dropped Hidden Colors. When he dropped, I was like, yo, because how did he start it? He started it by talking about who? Dr. Ben. You see, let me show you. It's only how you frame the argument. Even Biggie, right? See, Tupac gets all of the. See, everything you talked about as far as the
Brother,
Black
brother,
Panther.
before you stand on your square, the same square you're standing on, the same square Biggie stood on, Pac stood on, Haiti stood on, Marcus Garvey stood on, Malcolm X stood on the same square. He's from Harlem or he's from Boston. So what I'm saying is we're all standing on the same square. Martin
You're
Luther King stood
not.
on a
Illinois.
square. He's from
You're
Atlanta.
not. You guys are.
Huey P is from Oakland.
It's not. It's still an anti. First of all, how is? Watch this. Hold on. Listen to this. How is it that Pop Smoke, right? Pop Smoke is 20 years old, right, from
Yes.
Brooklyn. But the closest person to speak to him as an OG in hip hop is 50 Cent, a 50-year-old in Queens. You don't ask because they've been boycotting us after they killed Biggie. Since they killed Biggie, because of this reason, we're Caribbean American, we're not full American. So you've been hating on us. But then Bobby Shmurda
I
came
gotta
with the
disagree with you, brother.
as an
I was
absolute
raised.
fact.
I was raised by a Jamaican person. I gotta disagree with you.
Well, brother,
Across the board.
brother, we appreciate you tapping in, man. You want to spit some bars before you go, bro? We gonna hit some of your jewels from the album. You want to drop something real quick?
I don't need to drop no jewels. It's not simple. You ask me to tap dance. I am not a minstrel. I don't care who you gotta call. Call Sonetta or call Professor Small. I did it till I bleed. To give a damn about Tariq Nasheed. Step to me, I'm killing them. Send me there, give them the expert opinion.
Bro, let me take you
No
back to
doubt,
the
no doubt,
essence
no
of
doubt,
Black
no
Odyssey.
doubt. Okay,
Foundation
okay,
for
all
theology.
right, all right.
Honestly, Highway to
Leroy,
the Valley of Kings, Luxor, Thebes, Abu Simbel in the temples between,
Ugh.
Elephantine, Hathor, symbols of queens, buildings with themes, allegoric visual scenes written in stone on columns and beams. Anthropology teams study what monuments and monoliths mean. This is where advanced culture began. In the womb of the Nile, the base of Sudan on African land, from the
Ooh.
Ramesseum to Philae, as far back as Karnak, the Temple of Waset, where Greeks learned the arts at, the mathematic pi and the papyrus rhyme, millenniums before the theorem in Pythagoras' mind.
I
Architecture
don't.
with elaborate design. Granite walls show the planets align, meant to tap and divine. Quantum mechanics, patterns and lines. My schematics and rhyme established the craft like African shrines going back into time. Zep
okay,
I,
Tepi and Nepal and the
okay, let me
Sphinx.
get let me
okay.
get let me get it.
It's
Bring it
only
back, bring it
built
back.
for the blackest of links.
I
And
like that right.
what?
Yo, I like that. You need to stop. You know you wrote that. That wasn't off the top. Let me show
Off
you
the top,
how I
I
can.
blaze you. That hat
You
on your
can't
head,
blaze
I
me.
make you
When the
take it
gun
off
blazing,
and
I'm
show you who you
raising.
came to.
I
You
shoot you. I'm
forget
not
you me.
tasing.
I'm
When I do this, it's a pyramid. Look at the ticket from the Great Pyramid. Let me show you. Listen, Black. This says Temple of Karnak. Let me see. I'm not a pleaser. Next one says Pyramid of Giza. I'm a pharaoh. Deandra went in out Paro. Let me show you I'm not King Los. The next one here says Abydos. Yeah, you thought you
Yo,
could see him.
no
This
doubt.
Let me
one is
tell
the
you about
Egyptian
your ID
No,
Museum.
card.
no doubt,
Next
no doubt.
I
one,
Yo, 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 yo,
voodoo.
yo,
I
yo,
went to the
yo. I
temple
gotta
at
flow. I
Paul
gotta flow,
Habu.
Joe. And
What's
we
the
really
next
gotta
one?
go. I gotta get to the
uh,
next
Yeah,
segment of the show.
anytime,
My flow is
get you,
off
brother.
anytime.
kilter. I am no filter. I'm round the ruler,
Appreciate
and I'm about to get with you. Shout out to the guests because I'm on a
Hey,
quest. According to hip hop, gonna be the best of the best. I gotta go. I gotta
Hey,
go, man.
respect my
Shout out to
respect,
you,
bro. Peace
brother.
to
Shout
God.
out to you, brother. Shout out to you, brother.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus, that was the most interesting episode of the weekend around. I think in memory, the last one of the year. Fitting. We had a rap battle,
Right.
a history lesson, and but shout out to that brother,
A
man.
rap battle,
I'm gonna say, I'm
a
about to,
history lesson in one,
I'm
bro.
about to text
Wow.
I'm about to text Tariq the clip. I'm gonna text him right now. He probably gonna
Wait,
respond to it in the
Leroy,
show.
where the hell did you come up with that, bro?
Nah, I mean, but what I'm saying is, even in his argument, he's going back to Kemet, and what I'm saying is, regardless of where we want to go at, we need to look at each other as just human beings, bro. I connect with you, I respect you because I respect you're a human being. You, if you want to claim 5% Moorish, Kemetic, Israelite, or Black Power, or whatever, or Nation of Islam, whatever you want to claim, I'm okay with. I respect you as a human being and a person. So I'm not. I
I,
don't care
I
what.
I
You know
agree
what I
with
mean?
that. I
I
agree
don't
with
care
that.
what label you are, bro. You bleed the same as I bleed. You breathe the same as I breathe. So I respect you as a human. You know, that's
I
all I'm
just
saying.
think
No,
I just think like all right, to end the Fat Joe thing, I do think Fat Joe, he has an ego because he's been around. He's earned an ego. So I think sometimes, he's 50 some years old. So you gotta also understand, like, when you get up in age, there's certain things that he's just gonna be stubborn on. So, you know, I do think in Fat Joe's mind, like, he thinks he's black. I do actually think that Fat Joe thinks he's
Right.
black. I think he thinks that personally, because the way he talked, you could tell he been in, he's been with black people for a long time. So I mean, Nori has the story on Joe Budden podcast where he said where Fat Joe allegedly told him because some Puerto Ricans was giving him problems, and he pulled Nori to the side and said, "F them Puerto Ricans, they could go tonight," or something of that nature. So Fat Joe, he's
Right.
just he's
I
just he's
mean,
just old. He's stuck in his ways. But the thing that I want to talk about, because Leroy did mention this earlier, is like hip hop, right? Oh no, the brother actually mentioned this too before y'all went to your battle. Hip hop, it samples not only blues and jazz, but it samples things and it takes things from across the world. I view hip hop like two things: martial arts and like a pot of gumbo, right? Because in a pot of gumbo you could put almost any type of ingredient in it, as long as you cook it a certain way for it to be gumbo, right? So you know, I just think it's not really an issue though. Like, people understand Black Americans started it, but the contributions that others made, if you want to give them 50-50 credit for contributions, okay, but if you wanted to say who created it, we know who created it. I don't think this is much of an argument. I really think Fat Joe's just talking to a bunch of trolls who are either CIA operatives or bots, and he's
yeah,
letting it get to him,
that's
and
right.
that's
Exactly.
really what it is.
Exactly. That's all it was. Fat Joe is going at people that's going to take the bait into that fight. Now, if you want to take that bait, go ahead, but we know it's not an intellectual debate. And again, anybody who's questioning our position in hip hop as black people, do we really need to have that fight? We already know our position. We know who invented what. So we ain't gotta say nothing. We
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I
hey,
mean,
hey,
and Fat Joe's the type of guy, right? Like, we seen him with mad dudes in the 90s. Like, I mean, Nas, I mean, it says a lot when Nas does the Major Look video and he's going through the boroughs, right? And by the time he gets to the Bronx, who's in the video standing next to him? Is Fat Joe. I mean, it's not like Fat Joe's kind of like a made man. He's almost like a Don. I think people kind of, he make
Right,
his little wild comments, and he's not like a elite MC. So they're like, who is this guy to speak this nonsense? But
Right.
the elite dudes verify him. So
yo, it's crazy. It's
No,
crazy.
he earned his respect.
He
He
earned his
earned his
respect.
respect. So
He
I'm
earned.
not gonna go crazy on Joe. He earned his respect.
but
But
but but I will say
um
this to
Hey,
Joe. I will say this to Joe.
time out real quick. Time out real quick before you go, Mad Max. I want to make sure everybody in here hits like and subscribe. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Give us a comment, give us a like, give us a shout. Tell a friend, tell a friend. We want to make sure we put that in. Go ahead, Mad Max, with your thought.
I will also say this though, because all right, way I was raised, the way I grew up, right? I had a babysitter that was Black American, so there's sometimes I couldn't even stay with my parents because they was working all night. I would sleep there. She took care of me. Her family took care of me. She fed me like I was her own kid. Like, so I've been raised in a FBA house, my own house. I had Jamaican friends. Like, so I've been in every black diaspora crib pretty much chilling, and they all been in my crib chilling. So
okay,
I
so
don't like
the
when
love is
so
the
I
same.
specifically don't like when they go back and forth because it's like y'all just saying like I see the same mannerisms from every one of y'all. Y'all do the same thing and it's the same art. It's just like two people who think the same. Because honestly, Leroy and the brother that was just on, y'all having the same. That was like he. It's like y'all were basically arguing the same thing, and it was just like this is just what black people
Exactly.
do. It's just
I
barbershop talk that they taking too far.
I've been with Puerto Rican women. I've been with Dominican women. I've been with Jamaican women. The same things that are going on in your culture. I've been with Ethiopian women from the continent. I've been with women from Brazil, from South America. The same things that all of y'all are going through is the same thing that we as a people are going through. So you think it's like some huge difference. We are all have a common enemy that we refuse to address. Now we don't have to go into that right now, but we fighting against each other. Hey, tell that Puerto Rican dude over there, he better watch his mouth. Man, forget the Puerto Rican dude. We have other fish to fry. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, man.
No doubt,
Yeah, I
no
agree with
doubt.
that.
Well, before we go off this topic, I want to get to Mad Max's top 10 albums of the year because Mad Max, you had a lot of problems with some of the comments that were made earlier on the previous shows. I want to give you a chance. But before I do that, I want to play Fat Joe's comments one more time. And I want you guys, in the comments or in the on the, in the chat or in the comments of the video after the show concludes, let us know what you thought. I just want people that have just joined us recently. This is what we've been talking about for the last 30 minutes, but then we're going to move on to Mad Max's point.
Whoopity doop wop is crazy.
So yeah, so Mad Max, man, what's your favorite albums of the year, brother?
I actually got two lists. I got albums and a songs list. Which one you want?
Let's hit that. Let's go with the songs first.
I got 20 of them. That's crazy. So I guess I can do I'm not gonna say all 20. I'm only gonna say like the 10. And then I'll say my honorable mentions after that. So at 10, I got a song called from Algalada Dawn called Run It Over featuring Big Ox. Y'all gotta tap into Aguilada Dawn. He's Puerto Rican, so it's hilarious. He is Puerto Rican. He's some old Puerto Rican dude too, but from Brownsville. His beats and like the old New York energy he put on there is just refreshing. I'm sorry. The beats that song snap. Like him and Big Ox is better on that song to me than him. But I love the beat. I love the voice. I love how they rhyming on it. So that's my number 10. My number 9, Ron, I had to, I had to get off the porch, you know what I mean? Had to get off the Brownsville stone. You know what I mean? Had to take a trip down to Memphis. There was a shorty out there. She said she knew. She said she knew this famous rapper. I'm like, what famous rapper you know? Yeah, she's like, I'll tell you on Friday. So Friday come around. I'm like, where we going? You said you're gonna take me to the spot. You told me you're gonna take me to this famous rapper you know. She's like, it's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. You know the song. Come on, Rod. You know the song at number 9. You know the song. Glorilla,
I
thank
know your
God it's
girl
Friday. I'm
glow.
not going back and forth with.
I know your girl glow. I know it's glow. I know what it is. I
Yeah,
know
the
what it
best
is.
female rapper. I love Glow. That song is fire. I love that song. I was just playing it at the hospital when I was doing my shift at the hospital. Classic. I'm sorry. I love that song. That song is fire. At number 8, I got this song called Ghetto from EKE featuring True Car. That's just some turn up song. That's like a club joint. I actually saw that on Twitter. Not Twitter. What was it? I was on TikTok. I was scrolling through TikTok, right? And these girls were doing the challenge, right? and, and I can't front. They had the song play in the background. I'm like, okay, this is kind of tough. And then all of a sudden they started like throwing the cakes on the cams. I was like, damn,
Now you doing
breaked
the
up.
songs or the albums? You doing songs of the year?
Oh yeah, songs. So they got
Got
the
you.
song in the background in the TikTok. Son real ghetto. I like a rapper real ghetto. And I'm like, and I it just, I'm a man. So when I see, shorties bricked up, duffel bag full of weight, I got a vibe. I got a vibe. That was fire. Y'all gotta, if y'all ever in the club, y'all gotta request that. Just watch the girls just go crazy. Cause they be throwing it. That's just a beautiful record. Number 7. I'm back to my girl in Memphis. I got Yeah Glow at 7. That's one of my favorite songs of the year. I'm not going back and forth with nobody on that. Glow, y'all already know how I feel about her. That's that's my heart. That's my heart. For real.
This guy, Shah's son, talking about Indians and blacks and Spanish, and why we're not calling ourselves Indians, etc. I want you to look at the travel and the maps and the trade between the currents of Africa and ships that were coming from Africa to America. So to end that argument, I want you to understand that there was a trade going back and forth between Mesoamerica and Africa, and there's a bunch of evidence I could back that up with. So go ahead, Mad Max. I just wanted to get to that guy.
Oh, okay. All right. So number 6, right? I got Agala again. And it's fitting because you guys were talking about the 5 percenters. He got a song featuring a dude named M Tundra and Young Amsterdam.
Yeah,
Yeah, Amsterdam, called Inshallah, right? Which means, I guess, what is it? In Arabic, it means God will or God willing. Leroy would know that, right? That song is beautiful. The beat, the sample is just beautiful, and it's almost y'all remember that song that Killer Priest did at the end of Liquid Swords? What was it, Bible?
yeah,
Y'all remember that song? It reminds me of that song. It's not as good as that song, but it reminds me of that
fire.
song. It's a beautiful record. I love that record. I actually highly recommend that one. Gotta listen to that. Number 5, I got ASAP 12E, Checkpoint Charlie. It's that's actually my most played song because I came out earlier in the year. And it's the easiest song for me to play. Like, I just like how he was flowing on it. The beat was okay, but I just like how he was flowing on it. Like, he started off the record. He said, I told Coach put me in the game, and you know it's time to start me. I've been starving for an opportunity. I make my heart beat. Spend nights breaking down footage. Tell him try and guard me. I'm a Globetrotter, like Checkpoint Charlie, like that. The way he started that off, the way he got into it, he was talking his New York
Right.
ish. I'm a New York cat. It is what it is. I like that song. That's another song I recommend. Number 4, I got Humiliation by a kid called Elijah. He spells it like capital capital E, lowercase L, lowercase I, capital J, lowercase A, lowercase H, and it's featuring ASAP 12 again. Now that song, they talking real. I mean, they talking they little. It's more like a little fake introspective. It's more like those It's more soulful. That Humiliation is a soulful song. Elijah got the best bar to me in the of the year. He said something like what he say? He said something about how God gonna humble you through humiliation. But there was a bunch of things he said before that. But I think he's young. He's like 20 something. So I really like that song. Y'all should check that one out. I love that record. Number three, I got Heron of Giza by Aguilar. Again, the way that sample, I gotta find out what's those samples, but the way the beat sounds, it just sounds very like ethereal, like very like at the end of Gladiator when Maximus is
What?
about to die. It
Yeah.
gives you that type of beat. So I would say
Okay.
check that out. And to me, that number two, I got Aguilar again, Soundboy, You're Dead. That's the best boom bap song of the year, right? The way the beat come in, the way the drum come in, you're just like, oh my god. And then he's like, he's like, combination of Big and Pop. I'm just here to get it popping on y'all like old Red and Bach. Like he was going crazy on that. That
Now
song is a
listen.
must.
We're talking Snoop. People are saying Snoop and Dre just flopped, right? So we're talking about sales. So
Hold on,
in terms of what
let him finish this list real quick, bro.
Outlaw sold, in
Let him
terms of
finish
what
his
Outlaw
let him
sold,
finish his lyric. Are
yeah.
you? Let him finish this list real quick.
Oh yeah, I only got one more of the songs. So my number one for the songs is that light skinned owl boy. No face, no face, no face, no face, no face, no face. That song is that beat to me is the best beat I heard all year. Well, it's up there. I'm also like the beat more than what Drake is saying on there, but Drake said some things. But I do like No Face. But you could go ahead, Leroy, and I'll just give you my album
No,
list
no.
after that or whatever.
That's dope. I mean, I tend to try to say names that people will know. Now I know people in the chat, they may not know the name Aguilar, but I don't know if they heard the album. Now, so um I just try to name off people that people here may know. You know what I mean? So but I haven't listened to the album, but I heard it was good. I'm gonna go back on the strength of what you're saying and listen to that. So I appreciate that. Amen. Yes.
You should hear you get ready for my album. You should get ready for my album list, bro, because he's on there too.
Well, I would
Yeah,
assume.
I was ready for that.
I would assume he would be on the album list. You didn't name like six songs out of
Yo,
out of the 10.
Ron, I'm not gonna hold you. I only found out about Aguilar through Doggy Diamonds and another YouTuber named Tochi. They was talking about him and playing one of his joints. I'm like, yo, wait, where did this guy come from? Then I checked, he had like two tapes. Well, I remember the Soundboy for Dead joint. Then I was like, then I see he dropped two tapes. I'm like, yo, this nigga is blacking right now. This is like it's like
Yeah, but
boom bap
when Fat Joe
mastery.
when Fat Joe and Tariq Nasheed talk about who owns what do we actually own in hip hop? So when we talk about albums or we talk about a person like Aguilar, we're measuring him on the standard of what the industry measures him on. Who owns the industry? Do we own it or does another group own it? So if we're going to have a debate with anybody, I think we should have a debate with the group of people that actually own hip hop. Because do we own it or are we owning it just with our feelings? You know what I mean? Do we own it with hardcore money, business, paperwork, or do we own it with our feelings? I want to own it with business. I don't want to own it just with my feelings. You know what I mean?
All right,
So
I hear
we
that.
got to get there. If we're gonna claim hip hop, we got to own it. Now, all of y'all that are about to drop albums in 2025, you have ownership on your projects, correct? So what does that mean? That means you own it. So you own that square in hip hop. So it's time to stand on that, because next time we have this argument 5 or 10 years from now, let's make sure we own the institution that's hip hop. So when we speak to Fat Joe, we could tell him, hey, bro, no disrespect. I know you talking about we broke and all that, but bro, we actually got money because we own this. So I don't know, maybe you misinformed. You know what I'm saying? So we could stand on a better ground. You know what I mean?
I
That's
agree
all.
with that.
You know what I mean?
You want my album list too, Ron, or nah?
Hit the album. Let's go with the albums because I want to get to
All
Leroy's
right.
point because Leroy wants to talk about the Snoop sales. I want to have that. I want that conversation to breathe, and then we also
Yeah.
want to talk about the commercialization of hip hop with Busta, with Snoop, and into Busta. And I have some opinions on why I think that might have affected the rollout of Missionary. But give your album recap real quick.
All right. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. This year albums was I wasn't feeling much. Wasn't feeling much. So my, I only picked the albums that I thought had enough songs for me to even keep saved. So at number 10, I got French Montana Mac and Cheese 5. I'm not crazy about that project, but it has some joints. I'll give French
Number
that.
10?
It has
Really?
some joints.
Yeah. All
I
right.
like I like the intro a lot because I like the beat switch when you got to the boom bap. But French, you don't have a strong enough voice for doing that vocal switch, that DMX, Biggie, two voices. Your voice ain't good enough for all that. Don't do that again. But I give you a credit for the attempt. But that's at my number 10. Number 9, I got Future. We Don't Trust You. I'm not gonna lie. The album was album was okay, I guess. Future kind of washed because I
Oh, so
didn't really like.
you're not really even on these albums that much. Tell me the albums that you really feeling. Because,
No,
tell me what you feeling.
no, I'm gonna keep
Five to
going
one.
because it gets. I feel the ones more as I keep going higher. The ones I really like gonna come out.
Yeah.
Number 8, I ain't gonna lie. Lil Uzi, Eternal Take. That is not for the chat, but he has some beats on there that I kind of was digging. So I put that at 8. Now here's where the list really starts because I had to get those 3 bums out the way. Um, at number 7, I got LL Cool J, The Force. Y'all know I love LL. That's my heart. That's Uncle L. Hold him close and dear. I think he was the best veteran to come out this year. Of all the dudes who came out rapping, Common, Snoop, Cube, I think a couple. Well, I don't know. I do remember
No,
Cats
he
also came
killed it.
out this year, right?
He killed it. Yeah. LL went crazy.
LL was passionate. He had fire. He was rhyming. The only thing about the album and why it's really that low is because I think Q-Tip was kind of he was kind of iffy on there. That's my only real critique is
Yeah.
Q-Tip. It's not a LL himself was going crazy, but Q-Tip wasn't he wasn't matching what LL was doing. So
Mm.
that's why that's 7. At number 6. I got Glorious by Glorilla. I know that's probably low to a lot of y'all in the chat, knowing that I love Glorilla, but it's too ratchet.
You ain't got to
It's
give a
too ratchet.
disclaimer on each one. Just name off so we know. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
give a
got number
disclaimer.
6.
Hey.
Number 6, I got Glorilla. That it's just it's a good it's she got some cuts on there, but it's just too ratchet. But you know,
It's
but
okay.
I do like Thank God It's Friday and Let 'Em Cook, and I like Glow. She's funny.
Yeah.
She's bubbly, so it's good for the girls. Number 5, and I've never really liked this dude, but I can't front. His album was sneaky good. 21 Savage American Dream. I don't really rock with 21 too much, but the beats were okay, and he was kind of witty. He was kind. I don't agree with Ron that he's the wittiest rapper today like
No, I
that,
didn't. No,
but
I did not say he's the wittiest. I didn't. I got to go back and check the tape. I don't think I said he's the wittiest rapper today. I said he has a lot of wit, and for from Atlanta, he's got a lot of wit in his rhymes, and so I appreciate that from 21. So now
no,
he's
he
not the
is
wittiest.
witty.
He's witty.
He is witty. but I
Mm.
got him at 5. At 4, I got one of Leroy's favorites, and this album is I love this album. I ain't gonna front. This album was really good. Blue and Exile by Blue. Blue has
Yeah.
probably had the best lyrical performance I've heard of any rapper all year, and that's not gas. The man was going crazy, right? Like one of
No.
probably my favorite song by him for the year is not even on this album, and that's "The Living God." He went crazy on that. I love that song too. It's just that it wasn't in 10, but Blue was lyrically smoking any rapper out right now, lyrically. Just bar for bar. I don't care. You give him a beat, he's smoking them. That
No.
dude is
Blue,
on a
Blue is one of
different
them ones.
caliber. Yeah, he's
Blue,
on
Blue
a
is one of
different
them ones.
caliber.
Yeah,
You know,
no doubt.
and Blue, I like the whole essence of Blue and Exile. It's a little too West Coasty for me. You know, I'm a uptown guy, but I do rock and love the West Coast. You know, but it's still a great album though. Number 3, One of One by Gunna. I'm not going to front. People going to hate on Gunna, but and I never really cared for him, but the transition I seen from him on this album, he's talking about eating healthy, getting his mind right, exercising. This is the best content I've ever heard from Gunna, to be honest with you. Now he got his little foolish songs too, but
Yeah,
it's melodic. He's talking about something with more seriousness to how well he could talk it, and he got
yeah.
catchy hooks, and some of the beats I right. So I got that at 3. Now number 1 and number 2 is by the same dude. It's by Agalada Don. He got 2 tapes. At number 2, I got the KO tape, KO2 tape by Agalada Don. I think this tape has slightly better beats, but it's a little more it's not polished enough. It's like a little too raw. Pause. So I
Yeah.
got it at 2. And at number 1 is Aguilar Dawn with the Black Ridgeport. Cause that from start to finish, I mean, other than a couple of skips, polished, on point, boom bap, got bars. He's talking that knowledge throughout the project. He repping Brownville. I gotta
No,
respect
but
it.
now with Mad Max with range though. I haven't heard the Aguilar, so I'm shooting in the dark. But with range, you got Common, LL, Lupe, Snoop Dogg, Master Ace. Does he have a similar range in topics as somebody like a LL or a Common? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, or
I mean,
is he just gunning them down? That's boot camp click. I mean, maybe not. He's not boot camp click no more, but same type of dimension. You know what I mean?
he's no,
Range is
he's
the
talking,
factor.
but he's talking a lot of that knowledge is God stuff. He's talking a lot of that 5%er talk on there. It isn't much. I mean, he has a lot, he has a little bit of that street stuff on there, but he's
Yeah.
not really
So
he's not really
so
going in that bag.
everybody in hip hop,
It just sounds like street beats.
everybody in hip hop, it sounds like we all respect the 5% nation of gods and earth, correct? So that's black culture right there. So we don't have to prove ourselves to Fat Joe, okay? Because he knows where the gods stand. He's seen them in real life in his time. So we don't got to prove nothing to Fat Joe. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? Peace to the
Yeah.
gods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. But those are
Yeah.
my lists, I mean, hip hop is kind of whack, so, you gotta get back to the essence. Agalog brought me back to the essence. Boom bap, hard
Okay.
beats,
I'm going to listen. I'm going
talking
to listen.
talking spiritual, talking knowledge. I know Leroy, you gonna really love Heron Gaza and like Inshallah. I promise you, you're gonna really love those two because
Yeah.
it's kind of vibey, but not vibey. It's vibey boom bap.
All the texts are saying one thing. They're saying represent what? Represent God through your words and actions. All the texts say the same thing at the baseline. So we could just end it right there. Like, no matter what you subscribe to, Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes, You Busta Rhymes, you deal with the gods and the Rastafari. They have the same baseline. So everybody got the same baseline. Foundational Black America got the same baseline. So we don't have to have arguments amongst each other. We need to argue, what are we going to do to secure the bag? Now, it could be musically, it could be politically, but we got to secure the bag. Hip hop is $1 billion industry. Now, if I had that $1 billion on me right now, I would invest it in black areas. I would go back to Oakland. I would go back to Frisco, LA, Atlanta, New York, and I would invest in my people's areas. But my thing is, how can I get the $1 billion bag? Does anybody know? So I need to know how I can do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I'll tell you offline because I don't want to give you I don't want to give you I don't want to give all the trade secrets away. But I know how you get the $1 billion bag. It's very complicated because I haven't accomplished it yet. But I think I know how to do it. But Mad Max, let me
I'm
say
hip.
this: that was a
Yeah.
very interesting list, man. It's good to you're a young G. You're a young G, and your perspective was refreshing. And I got to go back and check out Aguilar the Don, man. I really wasn't hip to him this year, but you kind of put me on him. I'm gonna go back
Yeah.
and listen to those. I did listen to 38 Special today. I listened to 38 Special, Mother and Gun, and that's like an honorable mention album. That album was really slept on. Another slept on album, I want to say that's an honorable mention on my list, which I haven't unveiled yet, but I will on another
Fire.
on Wednesday. Conductor Williams, Conductor's album was dope. I don't know if y'all heard Conductor's joint, but Conductor, the producer.
Conway went crazy. Slant face killer.
Yeah,
Conway went crazy.
yeah. So check out 38 Special, Mother and Gun was dope. Conductor Williams was dope. His album was dope. Conway out. It had some joints on it. Slam Face Killer was okay. But yeah. So shout out to Mad Max for the list, man. If anybody in the chat wants to share their top 10 songs after this video concludes, the live concludes, put them in the comments. Let us know what your man, my chip's tripping. Let me know what your top 10 albums are, top 10 songs, maybe even top 10 verses. But let's talk about this next topic before we get out of here tonight. It's about the commercialization of hip hop. You know, we've been out Christmas shopping, Kwanzaa shopping, or whatever you do. If you celebrate Hanukkah, whatever, Hanukkah shopping and holiday shopping, whatever the case may be. Y'all might have been seeing this Busta Rhymes commercial that's been floating around. Have y'all seen this Busta Rhymes commercial? Want to know
Yeah,
what
with the
the
horse
families
teeth in his mouth.
I
That's
want to know
horse
what the
teeth.
family thinks about this commercial, and is it a good look for hip hop as we get into the holidays? Let's check it out.
'Twas the nights before Christmas. Despite last-minute stress, few were delivering except Walmart Express.
Stockings were hung by the fire with care, knowing in about an hour stuffers would soon be there.
Yet there were some still out there feeling adrift, racking their brains, shopping for last-minute gifts. But they can shop Walmart so many different ways with express delivery. They'll get what they need the very same day. Faster than a reindeer with a red nose. Fast like Busta Rhymes' legendary flow. On to the road, Walmart Express delivery went. Chock full of wondrous things in the St. Nick of time sent.
Faster, Busta!
Let's go. There's no end to the nice things you can get. Lego, headphones, cosmetic sets, hub, a rap, remote control jack, leathers, watches, pajamas, wrapping paper, and a Keurig, a 12-pack of pineapple Fanta. Don't forget to leave some cookies and milk out for Santa. Use Walmart for all your last-minute needs. You know we gotta get it together for Christmas Eve. Express delivery to y'all, and to all a good night. Welcome to your Walmart.
You know, I think I ain't got no problem with that, man. I got no problem with Busta. You know, as we
I love that, man.
being a company pitchman for products is good. It's showing that hip hop is a commercially viable vehicle to disseminate, sales and drive customers to. And
We
do it.
we are what makes things cool. Hip hop, we make things cool. Not to cut you off, but go ahead. But
Yeah, no. What
we
I'm
make-
saying, what I'm saying is, I think it's good. I mean, we've seen this with Snoop. We've seen this with who else? I think Common's been in some commercials. Jay-Z was in commercials back in the day for HP and other
Jadakiss.
products. So I think Jadakiss has been in it. So I think it's cool. I think it's good.
Yeah,
People.
when it comes time to eat, when we got to eat dinner, what do? We send baby mama to the Walmart, right? So we got some claim in that Walmart because that's where we sending our girl to go get the food that we about to eat, right?
Well,
So-
LeRoy, I send mine to Whole Foods. You know what I mean? But
no
teach
doubt.
his own.
Whole Foods at Costco.
I got
Teach his own. You know what I mean?
I
But
got you. but we're
I'm
sending
gonna
them
say
somewhere. We're somewhere to
I'm gonna
get the food. So
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna just go watch again from the chat. But I love Buster. I'm not mad at the commercial, but I'm tired of the veneers. That look like horse teeth, man. Buster, take them joints back out, bro. Go back to your original teeth, bro.
hey,
I don't know
at
if you can
least
do that.
at least his teeth ain't coming out his mouth like my man Dame Dash. Your
I
teeth
mean,
is
that is
running
true.
from your
That
mouth.
is true.
Your
That
teeth
is
running
true.
from your mouth because you talking so much about Jay, acting like you talking no respectfully, but you talking crazy about Jay. Dame, I know the business. So if you really had a gripe with Jay, the courts would pay you if he owed you some money. He don't owe you no money, but you mad and now your teeth is running from your mouth because you talking about Jay all the time. Respect, Dame. Run your own business. Leave Jay out of it. It's been 25 years, bro. Move on. Now with the Busta Rhymes thing, we run we our coolness is what runs companies. When you go to the Walmart, what do you see? You see the hood niggas talking to the hood to the baby mamas. So all and then you see the interaction when they buying headphones, they buying certain robes and pajamas and certain things that's cool. They going up and down the lanes, they going down the wine, buying alcohol. But what alcohol? The alcohol that we dictate that's cool. That's what they buying. If it's a rock, if it's Patron, if it's Hennessy, if it's what alcohol is y'all buying? Oh, the ones we say is cool. So it's like we deserve our right to be in once again. Rappers, you have to stop thinking that you're not businessmen. You are businessmen. The moment you put your music on sale for a 9.99, guess what you are? A businessman.
Hey Leroy, let me
So
ask you. Let me ask you a question. I haven't been. I was in Seattle
yes.
a few months back. I think I dipped in. I think was I in California a couple months back, a year ago. I don't know. Is folks still drinking 40s out there, like St. Ides and Colt 45s and shit like that? It's still rocking.
Nah. You know, 40s, that's the generation before my generation.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they still
nah,
sell they
eh,
still sell 40s in the store.
I mean, in the hood store, but ain't nobody trying to stand around drinking a 40, man.
We should
Yeah,
bring
I
that
mean,
back. We should bring that back. I want to bring that back. I want to get a 40.
I'll say this, and then I'll cut out right about commercialism. I don't have an issue with Fat Joe, Buster Rhymes, Hove, none of the legends doing the commercial thing. But I do think people need to be careful with that because when it comes to being commercial, right? Then it comes to being safe, and hip hop isn't safe. Hip hop is a way of life. It's like a martial art. It's an art form. So there is a little bit of you know
I
the
agree.
the the samurai outlaw monk who doesn't show his face type of rebel there.
I
So it's almost like a Jedi. You don't want to be too, the Jedi. You could work with the Republic, but you also want to be a little bit detached. So Fat Joe, I keep saying him, but Busta Rhymes, Nas, those if they want to tap into that bag because they're elders. So Snoop, they want to do that stuff. That's cool, but
yeah.
the younger dudes don't be playing that game. You gotta be on your rebel stuff. Keep the youthfulness, the
Are
the.
y'all strong enough to be rebels though? Because a rebel doesn't rely on someone else's machine to get the bag. He
Well, that's
creates
what.
the machine to
No,
get the
no, I
bag.
agree with
I
you,
don't think
Leroy.
y'all
I
are
agree
there
with
yet.
you.
I don't think
I,
y'all are there yet to be rebels. I think you be businessmen first and then graduate to rebels because
no,
y'all
I
are
hear what
not.
you say. No, I hear
Yeah,
what you're saying. But what I'm saying is keep it like a healthy distance. You don't have to be so rebel that you're not doing good business, right? You could do
right,
good
right,
business, but make
right.
sure you keep it the essence. Don't let them, because I mean, hip hop's already corporatized anyway. But that's why I keep like eventually it's gonna die out if we keep letting it get too corporatized. There has to be a
I mean,
a, a, a buffer
Snoop
there.
Dogg is a perfect example. He's corporate, right? But at the end of the day, when you look at Snoop, you're looking at community response and progress. That's a crip. You know what I mean? So he's corporate, but he never dropped his crip flag.
Right.
So
Yeah, but Snoop
if
is
you want to
also
go
too
corporate,
old.
Hey,
Snoop is kind of getting old. You
before we
gotta
get
the young boys gotta step it up. The
before
young
we
boys
get
gotta step it up.
before we get into Snoop, because that's gonna be our final topic of the night is Snoop and his the critical response and also the album sales of the Missionary album. He's been in commercials. He's been in a lot of. When we get to the super chat real quick, I'm gonna play his latest commercial from Solo Stove.
No,
Uh,
I'm a dip out though. Y'all have a good day though.
I know,
All right,
appreciate it,
I'm
man,
gonna still
Max.
watch from. All right,
No doubt,
all
yes,
right.
appreciate you,
sir.
brother. Louis
Peace.
Machai with the super chat says this is definitely a clip, Leroy. Um, most
I
no
got
doubt, no doubt. Let me play this. Let me play this Snoop Dogg commercial with Warren G. For Solo Stove, we should get some promo out of this, man. We gotta be big. We should put Walmart commercials up. We got Solo Stove. We gotta get a check.
Y'all know I'm the king of the buzz, but now I'm all about being blunt. Yes, sir. I call it blunt marketing. Very blunt. This is an ad for Solo Stove. Look at that. You should buy a Solo Stove. Check them out. It's big, it's smokeless, and it comes in multiple sizes. And I'll be even more blunt. I'm here because you're more likely to buy this fire pit because I'm Snoop. Facts. Super blunt. Here comes the logo.
Yeah, so Snoop's been pitching T-Mobile, the Corona, all types of different things, right? And I like it. I mean, like again, it's like it's a segue into hip hop being in the mainstream of America that's going to people's living rooms and selling them products. So I don't think it's a bad look. But I do think, however, though, it
yeah.
impacted the reception of Missionary. And the reason why I say that because I think Leroy, you're going to talk about the album sales or the chart numbers of Missionary. I think once you become exposed, and I told this to Mike and Servan in a separate chat, once you become exposed and known outside of music, whether it be the Olympics, whether it be from pitching products in commercials, it takes away from the music a little bit, right? You can't jump back into the music world so easily, and I think that's why the reception of the album wasn't as big and grand or
But
momentous
why
as it could
can't
have
you
been
though? Why
because it
can't
just
you?
hasn't been done. I think as an artist, hip hop
Yeah.
artist, even if let me finish, rock stars, hip hop artists, there's a vulnerability to it, right? There's a mystery to it. You know, that's why you have stars. That's why stars were like the less accessible they were, the bigger the star was. So that you see, if I'm on your TV 15 times a day, it kind of detaches you from the music a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it should be the case, but it just is the case. I haven't seen someone be in a whole bunch of commercials and still have that mystery around their music and have people the groundswell of people supporting it. I just haven't seen it. Now, can it be done? Maybe it can be, but as soon as you start getting the commercials, a lot of commercials, I think it takes away from the music, and I think we're seeing the impact on the reception. So, speak to what the album did.
I mean, we don't own the companies that we are checking numbers from. So when I don't own the company that's doing commercials, I don't own the network, I don't own the TV station, I don't own the streaming service, I don't own the platforms the streaming services are on. I'm just hearing what they say. It we when Jay-Z did Title, that was a move. Now I'm just saying we got to go all the Jay-Z route, but I'm saying we need to put together something that we own. If we own the streaming, then we are dictating what our numbers are. If somebody else own it, then they could say what they could say. Yeah, Snoop only sold 5 copies, and we'll be like, okay, well, we don't know. We don't own that. But what I'm saying is like, you know, as far as the music goes, I believe that your children, your great grandchildren, and your great great grandchildren deserve to get the economics off the music you put out. So if that means that I have to go into the corporate world, then I'm going to go into the corporate world. I believe that your pen, your blood, sweat, and tears, your life story, your rhymes should go down to your children and your children's children and their children's children, like any other dynasty of business. So if that means I got to become corporate, That is. Now, granted, you do what you agree with. Let's say I'm in corporate America, right? I endorse products that I live by. So if there's a certain soda that I drink, I got no problem endorsing it. If there's a certain butter I use, a certain uh product that I use. It could be if I use certain product to clean my house, if I wear a certain shoe, if all those products are true to what I use, then I got no problem endorsing them because I really put them in my grocery cart. And if I'm rapping and people like my rap, well then yeah, I'll endorse that. Now we have a problem with that because it's assimilation with the system, right? But I feel like this. I want us to get our money's worth. And if that means we have to assimilate, now when we assimilate, we're not just a regular assimilation, because when another company gets with Monster Energy, they don't care about justice, freedom, justice, equality. When hip hop gets involved with Monster, see, we deal in freedom, justice, equality. So our endorsement is a little bit different because our endorsement stands on justice. That's the difference between some other guy doing it and hip hop doing it. I believe Snoop Dogg stands on justice. I believe Jay-Z stands on justice. I believe, and what I mean by justice, what is right. I believe that these are not individuals that are co-signing, let's do something wrong to people. I think they stand on what's right. Now, if I'm wrong, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, you as an artist, if you stand on what's right, then yeah, you can endorse a product. If Honda shoots a commercial and you want to shoot a commercial and say, "Yeah, my first car was a Honda." That's your first car. But if you stand on what's right, then you're not taking advantage of nobody by saying that you endorsed the car. That was your first car. So there's a way to do it and there's a way to be sloppy about it. But I believe our legends, Jay, Snoop, even Nas, Cube, uh, LL Cool J, I believe our legends went about it the right way. They set a blueprint that we can follow and that we can do that and with no shame about doing it, because every other group is going to make their money. They'll do a commercial with any other company and feel no way about it. We're the ones that connect a moral compass to our business standards. So if we're going to do that, let's do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well said. Again,
Yeah.
I just think another reason why I think LP said it was the number 36,000 is a good number.
Mhm.
It's okay, it's a good number. I just think that bottom line, I think the album just didn't connect with a lot of people from on a sonic level, even though technically, it's mastered well, it's mixed down well. It just again, LeRoy, you can agree to disagree. It just lacked the
I went
soul.
back to that Snoop album. That shit
It
is
lacks the
banging.
soul. It lacks the soul, brother. It lacks their soul,
It's
brother.
banging.
I would
Okay.
even say Soulburger. I enjoy Soulburger more than I did that album. It hits,
That's all right.
but
That's all right.
I got to get that. I got to get that feeling. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Well, my album of the year is Common Sense and P Rock. So if y'all catch a feeling off that, that's why I'm calling it album of the year. No disrespect to nobody's list or whoever y'all pick. I respect everyone's list. I'm just talking about mine. My album of the year is Common and P Rock. So
No
that's me.
doubt, no doubt. Well,
Yes.
shout out to the audience. This is going to be our final show for 2024 on the Weekend Rhyme. We will not be on next weekend. We will pull up on Wednesday, and Mike will be here Monday with Saran. But the Weekend Rhyme was an idea that popped in my mind. We had some shifts this year. Coop left uh, the show A2HH Live, and that put us that left us in a place where we had to continue going on. According Hip Hop was a much bigger brand than that show, but for YouTube and for the podcast space, we wanted to kind of create something a little bit different. And the Weekend Rhyme was something we can do on the weekends, and it's a labor of love to us and the audience to do it because we've
Yeah.
got kids, we got wives, we got families, so it's hard, to kind of pull up. But we thought it would be good to have a weekend show where we can have conversations, people can call in, be interactive, and do something like that. So it's a tough show to pull off, and hopefully we'll pull up. Well, we are not. Hopefully, we will be back in January. Trying to get the days lined up, Saturday, Sunday, see what days work for everybody. Once football season is over with, it'll be a little bit easier. But yeah, we enjoy the show. It gives people, a chance to
Yeah,
see different personalities speak to it. Um, LeRoy and I, we butt heads a little bit, but I think it's a show that people find, that they like. It's a work in progress. So we're gonna up our production value up in the new year. We'll have probably a new set. I have
yeah,
some new cameras, some new lights, some new graphics. We're gonna step it up. We'll have more interview guests in 2024. We might be on location. We may pull up in Los Angeles. We may do a remote location in New York City, Miami, Chicago, Atlanta. We're gonna be everywhere where the people
yeah,
are, because really it's according to hip hop, according to the people. Mic Check is still gonna grow with Mike and Shervon. Think about some other shows to incorporate with a Wednesday show. We want to make that more interactive, kind of like an around the horn type, call-in show, agree to disagree, have some topics, some fly graphics, and yeah, but we appreciate y'all. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all here with us tonight. Y'all rock with us through thick and thin. We've had some wild shows, some wild takes, but I want everybody to enjoy their families over this time. Um, hold your loved ones tight, your children, your wives. For the females, if you got husbands, you got boyfriends, rock with them, aunties, uncles, grandma, grandfather, your fathers, your mothers. Just enjoy your family, man, your friends, your cousins. It's a beautiful time to be here in the world. We talk about hip hop, and we try to talk about other things as well in the periphery, on the periphery of hip hop culture,
yeah.
fashion, politics. We dabble in a bit, but we just try to give the audience something that you guys can enjoy throughout the week. And we appreciate you, man. Hit like and subscribe. I don't know, LeRoy, if you want to say anything, give anybody some holiday cheer as we close out the final show of the year.
No, I'm with you. I agree with everything you said. The rap battle was kind of random, yes, but that's where we stand. We standing on hip hop so far that we jumping into rap battles live on the air. So whoever want to bring it, God bless you. But yeah, look forward to more interviews. Look forward to more analysis of breakdowns of albums. I want to hear from y'all. Y'all break down the albums. Don't just take what I'm saying. Let me see your breakdown. You might have a better breakdown than me. But I'm okay. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? So I look forward to next year. This year's been a blast. I thank y'all, everybody that supported me jumping on the show. I respect y'all, and I thank y'all, man, because you know what I mean. Y'all give me a reason to go, but you know what I mean.
Oh, we ain't
We
gonna
gonna
be we ain't gonna be on Wednesday. Wednesday is Christmas Day, so we ain't gonna be on Wednesday. Wednesday we not gonna be on. So Monday, tomorrow will be our final show of the year. So we will not be on Wednesday, and so it is what it is. Unless somebody drops an album, if if J. Cole drops a Christmas present and comes out Wednesday, we'll be on. But again, man, hit like and subscribe. It really means a lot to us that you guys tap in, and peace. We enjoy you, man. Core and hip hop. Hit like and subscribe, people. We love you.
love.
Peace.
Yes, sir. A2HH.